Hey guys, it's Jessica again. I'm so excited to have Mike with Menlove Appliance back again. You guys can go back and look at the other one. We talked to him, got some really great tips and tricks about getting your home ready to sell, and also some pointers of what to expect when you guys come. So go look at that one as well, but not till after you're done here, because now we're going to get in and dig into the washer and dryer. What are some good maintenance things that we can do to keep it running smoothly so that it can last longer?
Okay, so most washers are pretty maintenance free, as in day to day or month to month. There is a little bit more maintenance on the front load washers than there is on the top load washers.
Okay.
The reason for this maintenance is because it uses so much less water than a top load washer does. And so therefore a lot of people unfortunately over soap them.
Okay.
Even putting pods into a front load washer, you will over soap the machine.
Okay.
And that leaves a lot of residue of soap along the tub of the machine and also creates a smell. And anybody who has a front load washer knows exactly what I'm talking about by the smell. Okay. There's been a couple of manufacturers out there that have tried to combat this by having a tub clean cycle.
Okay.
On the machine. It's on the front of the panel, and you just push tub clean, let the machine go. It puts really hot water into the machine, heats it up, and then spins it really fast to try to get rid of all of that excess soap that's left over inside your machine. But it doesn't do all of it. So recommendation on front load machines. The best maintenance you can possibly do on a front load machine is cut your soap down to 2 tablespoons of soap.
Okay.
No matter what load you have in it, no matter whether you're washing sheets or whether you're washing small things, 2 tablespoons of soap is all you put in it.
Okay, so front load washing just 2
machine.
tablespoons.
2 tablespoons
That's
of soap, because then you don't have that excess soap that is just spread all over the machine and also onto your clothes.
Okay.
The soap carries the dirt out with it, but if the machine doesn't rinse all the soap out, then the dirt stays on your clothes.
Okay, which makes sense. That makes complete sense.
That's the best maintenance tip on a front load washing machine. Now washers such as this don't have a filter
Okay.
on them. Okay, the front load washers all have filters on them.
Okay.
Okay, some manufacturers have done a better job than other manufacturers in allowing them to be more accessible.
Okay.
Whirlpool, for some reason, they bury the filter. You can't get to it unless you tear the whole machine apart. I don't know why they did that, but that's what they've done. So those of you that have Whirlpools, you know, it's going to be a little more difficult.
Good luck.
But those machines do have a filter, and you unscrew that filter, some water will come out at the bottom. But to do that, you need to do that about once every 6 months. So that's with the front load machines. Top load machines, such as what you have here, this is a Speed Queen. These are fantastic machines, and they're very maintenance free. You really don't have a whole lot of maintenance with these machines. The only issue you do have with them is inside the agitator. This is where they want you to put your fabric softener, the agitator. It always gets gummed up. Fabric softener is a gummy fluid. It really doesn't all clean out.
Right.
There, okay. These are removable. This top is removable here. You can grab it. You do have to put a little pressure on it and kind of pop it loose. And it will pop loose. You can see the little tabs that it sits onto right there. Inside of that, you'll see that there is stuff all over. Now, it doesn't look like you use fabric softener inside your machine.
We don't.
So what it does have inside of it is soap residue.
Yes.
From the soap, from the soap that gets inside of it. The best thing to do with this is to fill it full of really hot water, let it sit in your sink, and then you don't just dump it out.
Okay.
You actually twist it like this, and then let it pour out, and it'll pour out the bottom of it. Inside this, there's a cone that fits like this. If you can imagine, my 2 fingers are a cone.
Okay.
And as the machine spins, all the water swirls, goes up to the top of this thing, and then dumps down the outside of that cone when it stops. That's how fabric softener works. That's why it doesn't dump out in your wash load.
I've always wondered how that works. Okay.
And that cone, you can hear it shake.
I can.
Inside. But a lot of stuff gets gunked up inside of there, and so that's how you combat that, is with really hot water.
Okay.
No soap, because it already got plenty in it. And then when you're done with that, you just clip it back on.
Okay.
The rest of the agitator, of course, at this point you can see. I personally like either the Lysol wipes or the Clorox wipes. those work really, really well to take off all of the little soap scum and that kind of thing that's on the agitator.
Okay, so you guys can't see that right now, but it is, I can see that it's dirty. So if I just get myself some Lysol wipes and I can wipe it out. There's also kind of some hair, it looks like, in there. Is that something I can pull out? Just get rid of it like a
Just
shower
get rid
drain?
of it just like anything else. And things will get into there because there is holes in the agitator to allow the fabric softener to come out of the agitator at the bottom.
Okay.
And so that hair and everything floats up into there. And it's not very pretty. It's not the greatest part of our households, but it is part of it, and it is part of cleaning up.
But that maintenance, like we talked about in our last video, is that maybe that's a once every 6 month thing. I can rinse that out, wipe it out, clean it out, and I'm good to go for another 6 months.
Absolutely.
Don't have to worry about it again.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Now, on the front loads, I would recommend that you use the tub clean once a month.
Oh, good. Okay.
Once a month on the front loads. And then also, I failed to mention this, on the front loads, make sure you leave the door cracked on it so the door stays open by a little bit. And then also the soap drawer, which is a drawer that opens up.
Okay.
It allows some cross ventilation inside of there to help dry out that.
So a little bit more maintenance with the front load than of a top load.
Right.
But it's a preference issue.
It is definitely a preference issue. So I prefer the agitator style because I believe it does a better job. Some people will be on, tell us that we're completely wrong and they like the other style because of the fact that it's a little easier on your clothes.
Okay.
But it's whatever works for you.
Yes.
I just feel like the other ones wash a little bit better from what I've seen.
That's good. Again, it's all personal preference, but it's nice to know that there's different ideas and maintenance that go along with those machines. And then they still, if that's what you prefer, then fantastic. Here's the maintenance. That's wonderful.
All right.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move over to the dryer. We can first, I know this is the thing that we're supposed to be cleaning out all the time.
Right.
So tell me.
So this is every single time.
Okay.
Every single time. Let me explain what happens if you don't.
Okay.
This will make you want to clean it out every time.
Yes.
This one here is just finished up a load. Okay, and so you have this much buildup right here. Okay, if you take and you pack on more buildup and more and more and more, then suddenly it's trying to suck air through something that it can't. When a dryer can't breathe, a dryer can't work.
Okay.
And the moisture, all the moisture has to go through this right here to
Okay.
get outside. Now, in this dryer, if you were to let this build up too much, what would happen is if you pull this out, it will scrape it off.
Oh.
And it will drop down into your vent, creating almost a 100% blockage immediately, causing a huge fire hazard because this is the hottest part of the dryer.
Okay.
And lint burns really well.
So
this
I wondered
is very,
about
very,
that.
very important.
Okay,
Is
every time.
cleaning this every single time. Don't skip. Just clean it every time.
Okay. Is there a way to get down in there and vacuum if it is starting to build up, or?
Not really.
Okay.
So yours has the lint screen up here.
Yeah.
Most of the people watching will say, well, my lint screen
Down in
is
the door.
inside the door right here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Those ones, just because of the design of the machine, you can see down inside of them, and lots of times you can get a vacuum with the little crevice tool down inside there and clean that out.
Okay.
That is perfectly fine. You're not going to hurt anything by pushing that down into there and cleaning it out.
Okay.
Okay, there's nothing like that. Try not to stick a wire down there or something that's going to get caught, because then I get to come visit you and tear the dryer apart. Now on the dryer, there's a little something different when you're cleaning these out. You have this vent tube that's back here that's solid. Some will have that inside the wall, some will be exposed like what yours is, but there's always a flexible duct part that is behind the dryer. And that flexible duct part allows the dryer to be pulled out and pushed back in without breaking things and that kind of stuff. But that flexible dryer duct also has a tendency to smash on top of each other. And so you start out with a hole this big, and then you off-center it, and suddenly you have a hole that's this big.
Okay.
Okay. So as you're doing these, as you're pulling them out and pushing them back in, take a little look behind there, and just make sure that when you push it back in, that you don't kink that over.
You're not crimping it like if it was a hose and you're trying to stop the water.
Right.
It could, okay.
Right. Because a dryer works a little bit different than most people think. 80% of the moisture of your clothes is supposed to be blown out of the dryer,
Okay.
not burned up by the heating element in the dryer.
Okay. Okay.
So if you take this and you block that airflow off, suddenly you've reversed that.
right.
And now it has to burn up 80% of it and can only blow out 20% of it.
Okay.
And that causes a lot of slow drying. It also causes a lot of problems inside the heat with the heating element, the thermostat,
Yeah.
and a lot of maintenance issues as well.
The stress, just because it's got extra stress on it from that
Yep.
heat, causes.
And if you ever see moisture on the front of your door,
Okay.
on the inside of your door, you have a over 90% blocked duct. It's time to take care of that now.
Okay.
That is not a time to wait.
Is that kind of where you're starting to get into fire danger?
Yes.
Is that what
Yes.
the biggest because I know we need to be careful anyway
You need to be
for the
careful anyways.
safety, but
And if you're doing it every 6 months, if you're at least inspecting your vent every 6 months, you're never gonna have a problem
okay.
ever, and your dryer's gonna last forever. They really will. The heating elements, the thermostats, all that kind of thing. As long as it can breathe, that dryer's gonna last a long time.
Okay.
But as minute you kink it off, or don't clean the lint screen every time, or things like that, you can count years off your dryer.
Okay. So that's a big difference then.
It's a
Years
huge difference.
years makes a big
It's a huge difference.
difference.
So-
Very good.
I want to show everybody kind of how to pull a dryer out, because dryers are, they're pretty light. They're not too bad unless they're on a pedestal and that kind of thing. The best way to pull a dryer out is open up the door, hold the door like this so it doesn't wiggle, grab it here with this, pull it off the front legs so you don't scratch your floor,
Okay.
and then just slide it forward.
Okay.
Okay, and you can slide it forward, and that way you're not scratching your floor, you're not causing a lot of damage to your home, and you can get back behind the dryer and check your vent.
Okay.
So with anything that you're moving around, try to pull it off the front legs, pull up and then out.
Out. Okay.
That way your floor does not receive any damage.
Okay. Very good.
So once you get your dryer out, you'll notice that this vent is very straight. This is the flexible tubing that we're talking about, and then this is the rigid tubing that it should lock into. A lot of times this is inside the wall, and so this part here is what you will take off. You'll undo this screw here and just slide it off, and the same with down at the very bottom. You slide that off of there, and then you can clean out that portion of it. There are tools that can go through your entire home and clean it from here all the way out. I would recommend, for the cost, to have somebody come and professionally do it, unless it's very short. The reason is I've had many homeowners actually break the tool off inside the wall, and then they have to call somebody to come and tear their sheetrock out to get the tool out.
Okay. So on all of your appliances, it sounds like about 6 months.
In my house, I have 6 months Saturday.
Okay.
Every 6 months, I pull all my appliances out. My stove, my dishwasher, all my appliances come out. We clean everything behind it. We clean the dryer duct. We put everything back in.
Okay.
It's a Saturday. It's just kind of something that I've always done because of the fact that I see stuff
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
breaks.
But we've also done the furnace heater that you could do that at the same time. Maybe even batteries. Maybe that would be
Batteries
a
or
good
smoke
time. You can
detectors.
do your batteries. I like that idea.
Yep.
Just scheduling a time and get it done,
Yep.
and then you don't have to worry about it again.
Even changing your batteries in your remote control for your TV.
Yeah.
That way you're not sitting there trying
Chasing.
to get it on.
Chasing it around.
Chasing it around. Yeah.
Well, I am going to say thank you for coming. I appreciate your time. Check in the description below and make sure that you look for Mike, and you'll know his contact information will be down there. Okay.
Thank you very much.